There's no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. Because fear has to do with punishment. And so one who fears is not yet perfect in love. We love because he first loved us.
The fall of man started off with a question, and that question turned into action, and that action fell entire mankind. The serpent asked, paved the way for temptation and sin, and it has affected each and every one of us. Look around you. You see questions plastered everywhere.
How many moments did you miss that God planned for you to have because you wanted to do something other than His will?
There's the fear of not being good enough, not being smart enough, not being pretty enough, just not enough. That's just the devil trying to plant insecurities in your mind to weaken your relationship with God.
And that's when we start getting influenced, and that's when we start getting tempted, and that's when we start sinning. And we let that overpower God's voice. We become blinded, and that's why we start to question God. Temptation leads to sin.
You think yourself as broken beyond repair.
But because we ask the simple question, do you want to smoke? Did you litter? Did you hit dad? Did you do your homework? Did you cheat?
Why are you trying to cover up what God made? So one of the biggest things that we struggle with is this idea of who you put yourself out to be.
After looking back at everything, I started questioning, what am I even doing? Is God really love? And if He is love, how come I don't feel His love?
We're often tempted to believe that something other than God will satisfy us.
Questioning God, sinning, and facing temptation affects everyone.
What you do with those questions? Are you gonna let your questions lead you away or lead you to?
All God wants is a relationship with you. But you guys keep pushing Him away. You keep telling Him, like, okay, I love you, God, but you're not putting in the effort to love Him too, and to show that you love Him. But God is so great and so amazing, and He is such unconditional love that He will gladly accept you in open arms. So what are you waiting for? Why do you push Him away?
You know, no matter how far away you feel like you've drifted away from God, He will always find a way to bring you back to Him. You are worthy.
Imagine everything in this whole entire world only took the Creator 6 days. Like, dang, that's some inspiration, right? Everything. This whole entire world. And how beautiful is it? After everything He created the first 5 days, He created mankind.
He always said that when God created the world, it was good. That's our origin story. We were good. But we took it and we obscured that reality and made it into this.
Yes, we were created by God. We are His masterpiece. We are His creation. But we sin. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. We're always tempted. And what we don't know is that we're always on the verge of temptation.
From the hole in the wall activity, The world was trying to conform on you.
Society says we have to look perfect and polished, but God tells us differently. Don't conform to the image of the world, because how God created you to be is far different from what society thinks you should look like.
All are on this journey together, and if we feel that we're lost sometimes, are we allowing ourselves to see that God was there the whole time?
God blessed us with free will. He gave us the opportunity to choose whatever we want to do. And sometimes those choices that we choose to do lead us to struggle. We're free to struggle. We're not struggling to be free. We're not created to live in a world of sin. We're supposed to live in a relationship with God. He opened up the bridge to heaven by sacrificing his life for us.
We were told in our gospel reading that they were locked behind closed doors. Fear that they might be killed by the Jews, and fear that they don't know what happened. It would be a good time to reflect on what is the door that I'm locking the Lord from. Whatever it is, let the Lord break through it. Open your hearts to him. Because when we truly believe and we are true disciples of the Lord, then and only then can we experience his peace, his love, his divine mercy.
God doesn't want you to be carrying these things that keep you in the arms of the devil. By letting go of these things that hurt you, these things that hold you back, these things that don't make you feel worthy.
But we need to focus on him. We don't focus on him. That's why we still feel lost. We need to recognize his presence. But we gotta see that every step we take, no matter if it's one step forward, one step backward,
God will love you even when you can't love yourself. It's one thing to call out and cry for God's help, but are you willing to accept God's help? And just know that unanswered prayers are still answered.
Through your kindness and goodness to others, you become the joyful witnesses to Jesus' resurrection. You become the living proof that Jesus is truly risen.
How cool is it that the same God who created mountains, oceans, and galaxies looked at you and thought the world needed one of you too?
Simple. Love. And love conquers fear. If you love someone hard enough, the fear of you not being enough will vanish.
Jesus died on the cross so that we, not only just sinners, but the saints, can go have a home in heaven.
Because God put us here on this earth, not so we can go to heaven by ourselves. It's so that we can go to heaven with everyone in this room, everyone out there waiting for us.
We live in our lives so that we can prosper.
So mind-boggling to see that God loved his people so much. He had this ultimate plan to bring them back home.
But we don't realize that we're already free because Jesus died on the cross for us.
We're clouded with so much sin, with so much temptation, that you don't see God waiting for you to come home.
But God is constantly knocking on our door. God is saying, my child, I am here. Let me in. Because God won't force his way into our hearts.
Like growing up, I thought my faith was magic. Like God is gonna work magic on me. There was always a part of me that knew that I wanted God. What I need to do and what we all need to do as a community to again, love ourselves, love what we need to do, and love what we need to show to the world. So I just hope and pray, and I challenge all of you guys to do what you feel is in your heart and what you feel is right at the end of the day, and be what I know we all know you guys can be.
Just remember that God loved you so much that He couldn't live without you.
We're always striving to find our way home. You will go home today. We will go to church today. That is home.
Grace will lead me home. Grace will lead
We are one step away from home.